Welcome back. South Australia recorded no new COVID cases today, meaning the state's lockdown looks set to end at midnight tonight. Live to our Sky News reporter, Joel Philp. Joel, the Premier also said people coming in from New South Wales were a greater risk than those coming from overseas at the moment.
Yeah, that's right, Ash. Good afternoon. There are about 1,700 people in New South Wales stranded at the moment who hope to get back to South Australia, but exemptions are very hard to come by at the moment. The Premier said he is working on a plan to repatriate some of those people if and when they hope to come back. However, of course, the situation in New South Wales is so dangerous at the moment that the Premier said there is a higher risk for South Australia of people there than there is from overseas locations right now. Take a listen.
The risk of people coming in from New South Wales is actually higher than people coming in from overseas at the moment. So we do need to do this in a very careful and considered and prudent way, because we don't want to be putting our entire state back into lockdown. Let's not forget how this all started. It came from somebody coming back from interstate into South Australia.
The Modbury cluster here in South Australia still stands at 19 cases after no new cases were recorded overnight, which is great news. It obviously means it looks highly likely that South Australia's lockdown will end at midnight tonight. The state's police commissioner gave South Aussies a score of 10 out of 10 for complying with restrictions. However, for at least the next 7 days from Wednesday onwards, there will be heavy restrictions that remain in place here in South Australia. To begin with, about 6,000 people who were ordered into quarantine by SA Health will need to remain in quarantine for the entirety of that 14-day period. And beyond that, mask wearing will be compulsory in many indoor settings, including in high schools now. So students will need to wear masks while they're in class, in lessons. The Premier said that there are about 90 pallets of masks being taken across the state by 12 trucks at the moment. And the Chief Health Officer spoke about how much of a big part masks is going to play in our lives now. Take a listen.
The basic rule of thumb for everyone in South Australia: if you can wear a mask, wear a mask. So rather than think, look, what's the loophole I can get out of wearing a mask? If you can wear a mask, because it's safer for you, it's safer for the whole community.
In terms of sport in South Australia, training is now allowed, but for this coming weekend, games are not allowed, which will obviously affect the AFL. We won't be having any AFL games here this weekend. But the Chief Health Officer, Nicola Spurrier, also said that she was focusing on the age group of 16 and above to get vaccinated as soon as possible, because she said that group of younger adults was a key factor in how super spreader events occurred in Australia, because they were so often out in the community, being social as opposed to being at home, which older people were. So she said a key part of outbreak management is making sure that group of 16 and above get vaccinated as soon as possible. Ash?
Yeah, as soon as we can get the supply. Joel Philp, appreciate the update. Thank you.